a 15-cent can of King Oscar Norwegian sardines. Morris went back to waiting. In 21 years, the store had changed little. Twice he had painted all over, once added new shelving. The old-fashioned double windows at the front a carpenter had made into a large single one. 10 years ago, the sign hanging outside fell to the ground, but he had never replaced it. Once, when business hit a long, good spell, he had had the wooden icebox ripped out and a new white refrigerated showcase put in. The showcase stood at the front, in line with the old counter, and he often leaned against it as he stared out of the window. Otherwise, the store was the same. Years ago, it was more a delicatessen. Now, though he still sold a little delicatessen, it was more a poor grocery. A half-hour passed. When Nick Fuso failed to appear, Morris got up and stationed himself at the front window, behind a large cardboard display sign the beer people had rigged up in an otherwise empty window. After a while, the hall door opened, and Nick came out in a thick, hand-knitted green sweater. He trotted around the corner and soon returned, carrying a bag of groceries. Morris was now visible at the window. Nick saw the look on his face, but didn't look long. He ran into the house, trying to make it seem it was the wind that was chasing him. The door slammed behind him. A loud door. The grocer gazed into the street. He wished, fleetingly, that he could once more be out in the open, as when he was a boy. Never in the house, but the sound of the blustery wind frightened him. He thought again of selling the store, but who would buy? Ida still hoped to sell. Every day she hoped. The thought caused him grimly to smile, although he did not feel like smiling. It was an impossible idea, so he tried to put it out of his mind. Still, there were times when he went into the back, poured himself a spout of coffee, and pleasantly thought of selling. Yet if he miraculously did, where would he go? Where? He had a moment of uneasiness as he pictured himself without a roof over his head. There he stood in all kinds of weather, drenched in rain, and the snow froze on his head. No, not for an age had he lived a whole day in the open. As a boy, always running in the muddy, rutted streets of the village, or across the fields, or bathing with the other boys in the river. But as a man, in America, he rarely saw the sky. In the early days when he drove a horse and wagon, yes, but not since his first store. In a store, you were entombed. The milkman drove up to the door in his truck and hurried in, a bowl for his empties. He lugged out a caseful and returned with 2 half-pints of light cream. Then Otto Vogel, the meat provisions man, entered, a bushy, mustached German, carrying a smoked liverwurst and string of wieners in his oily meat basket. Morris paid cash for the liverwurst. From a German, he wanted no favors. Otto left with the wieners. The bread driver, new on the route, exchanged 3 fresh loaves for 3 stale and walked out without a word. Leo, the cake man, glanced hastily at the packaged cake on top of the refrigerator and called, "See you Monday, Morris." Morris didn't answer. Leo hesitated. "Bad all over, Morris." "Here is the worst. See you Monday." A young housewife from close by bought 63 cents worth. Another came in for 41 cents. He had earned his first cash dollar for the day. Breitbart, the bulb peddler, laid down his 2 enormous cartons of light bulbs and diffidently entered the back. "Go in," Morris urged.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.